Well, I am so glad to see you all. About 20 years ago, I stood at the back of the room, and there was about 200 oil and gas women standing in front of me. And as I stood there, my hands were sweating, my knees were shaking. My voice was not really ready to come out. In fact, I was pretty certain it wasn't going to come out. And I heard my name called, so I walked to the front of that room, and I stood behind a podium, and I went to speak, and my voice did not come out. It was stuck. It was stuck right here in my chest. Took another breath, and finally it started to come out, but kind of squeaky, it just wasn't there. And it was the most terrifying, probably 30 minutes of my life. I was talking about a topic that I knew deep and well. I worked for a multinational organization. We'd just gone through 2 branding relaunches, and I knew I was there to talk about branding. I was like, I knew what I had to say, but I was terrified. I was totally terrified. I swore I'd never speak again. I'm like, that is just not my thing. So fast forward a couple of years, I'm sitting in my business coach's office. I'm running a business. I've started a business. And she says, the fastest way to grow your business is to get on stages. Yeah, no. I'm going to grow my business in other ways. Thank you very much. I'm going to grow my business in other ways. And so I go about doing the things that I'm doing, and I'm getting clients, but it's one person at a time. And fast forward again another couple of years, and I write my mission and vision statement. I have a whole weekend in a hotel room all by myself, and I'm got spreadsheets all around I have flip charts all around my hotel room, and I land my mission statement, and it says that I want to impact 1 million women, helping them raise up their voice, their vision, and their visibility. And I'm like, oh, that's it. And then I was like, but wait a minute, I will never get there one person at a time, right? I will never get there one person at a time. So I had to really get over my fear. I was like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna own this. I'm gonna get over it. So what I started to do then was to look for ways. I looked for teachers. I started going to different coaches to help me with my fear. I learned that storytelling was, and Ruth's going to be talking about storytelling later today, but storytelling was really my gateway to be able to speak, because it was the way that I could get out of my head and just be in my stories, because we all know our stories, so it's a beautiful way to do that. I also met a dear friend who taught me how to learn to speak from the soul and get out of my head, where it all had to be perfect, but really to be able to speak from my soul. And so between all the different teachers that just magically showed up for me, right? So perfectly for me, I really did learn to love the stage. I learned that, okay, this is a fun way to connect with people. So that's what I wanted to start with, this story of how important it is to be able to find our voice, to find this authentic who we are, to be able to step onto the stage. Tony did such a good job of really this morning giving us some of the good platforms of where we're, how do we show up? How do we have our core messaging? But it starts with the inside of who we are, this essence of who you are. So that's where we're going to go today. And I believe that women's wisdom is the medicine that our earth needs right now. I am so passionate that our work is making a difference in the world in such a big way. We are leading, we are building businesses in a different way, and it starts with bringing more soul into our work, really being able to tap into the soul of who we are. And I talk about voice, vision, and visibility. And when I talk about voice, we're looking at we're looking at who we are in our messaging and how we show up in the world. When I get into vision, it's about the right packaging and pricing, and what's the vision that you want to create with the impact that you want to make in the world. And then visibility, how do we get visible, right? Stages, podcasts, there's so many ways that we can get visible. So today, what we're going to be focused on today is this voice part of it, right? We're going to talk about building your brand from the inside out. What does that look like? We're going to learn to speak your client's love language. So how do we really connect with our soul clients in a way that they're like, oh my gosh, I need the work that you do? And then if the whole world could hear one message from you, what would that be? So this is elevating your messaging up to a thought leadership level in a way that you're seen and heard as an expert in your field. So that's where we're going to be going today. And we're going to get lots of time to do some work together in group, and then also some inside thinking. So building the brand from the inside out starts with I am. So I want you to put your hand on your heart, put your feet down on the ground, and just close your eyes for a moment if you feel comfortable, and feel into the statement, I am. Who are you? Who are you at your very essence? And this isn't about your roles. This isn't about, being a mom, a sister, a wife, anything like that. It is about who are you at your very essence, that light inside of you. So take out your journal and just write down a few things that pop up for you. Who would like to share what came up there?
I said, I'm cheating on my computer here. I said, I feel happy. I feel happy at home, and I want others to feel that same happiness that I have inside when they're in their homes.
So expand upon that, because you're one of the things we very naturally do is we go to how we help others, right? It's a really easy thing for us to do. So you have happy. So what is the essence of you? So happy is an essence of you. See that? Yeah.
So I feel happy inside. Oh, I am happy inside.
What else is when you think about you as the essence of you, that light in you?
I feel very grounded. I'm happy, grounded. I'm satisfied with my personal life.
So happy and grounded are really good words that are an essence of who you are. Okay, good. Thank you. Who else? Here.
I love this exercise. I am love. I am power. I am significant. I make a difference. I am the sum total of 80 years on this planet.
Wisdom, right? So there's good wisdom in that. Those are really good. That's really strong.
I am courageous. I am joyful. I'm inspirational. I'm focused.
Excellent.
I'm spiritually connected with God. I'm loving. I'm compassionate. I'm kind. I'm empathetic woman helping others overcome difficult, traumatic experiences.
Excellent. Let's do two more right here.
I am a change maker. I am a role model. I am a warrior. I am a light.
Are you starting to feel the differences between these words from these essences and how they shift? Go ahead, Kelly.
I am a spark, light, energy, and attraction.
Yeah. So you feel these, right? And we'll do one more right here, or two more. Okay.
I wrote a bunch, so I'll just say, I'm the one you can count on to remind you of your courage and amazing shine.
So this is the impact again that you're talking about. So it's your essence that you're looking for, right? You're not pulling, because you're pulling out that essence from other people as well. But what's your essence that helps people do that?
I'm a loving, courageous, powerful leader.
I am a powerhouse, magnetic, influential, and spirit-led.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, one more. This is the last one. Stand up.
I'm a compassionate, disruptor, courageous warrior.
Yeah, I love it. So when you hear these, you hear a very different, you felt different energies from each person, right? And that's the beauty of it. And when you start to think about how you show up on a stage, this is the secret right here. We fall in love with souls, not faces. So people feel you because of your soul, not because of it, anything that you're wearing. They feel you. And that's the essence that you're bringing out into the world. So if you look at each one of these women that just shared a part of what their essence is, what you start to do is you start to say, ooh, I get that. I feel that in that person. And that's what you want to be bringing to the stage. And here's the advantage that we have as women. This is super cool. And I'll say that we have this as women, but men have this too because they can really walk in the essence of who they are. And I think this is the shift that we're making. We've all seen speakers get onto a stage and project, right? They're projecting their words, they're projecting their presence. But if you see somebody get really embodied, that's where you start to feel them, and that's what you're moving into. So in those early days of speaking for me, I had all those limiting beliefs, right? I had all those, oh my gosh, who am I to be able to speak? Who am I to be able to do this? I had to work with shedding those limiting beliefs. Then I started to learn to speak from a presence perspective, from a projecting perspective. I found some more confidence in it. I found my ability to be able to show up on a stage and say, okay, I've got something to say, and I built some confidence there. But this is where we start to add this fire, this light inside of us. This is where we really can start to embody who we are. And that's where we start to create a beacon of light. We become embodied leaders. And that's how we become a movement. That's how we create change, because we are able to shine our lights in a big way. We walk in that fire of who we are. And that's the power that we're moving into. So how do you embody the essence of you on a stage? I want you to just jot down a few things. How can you take this essence of you and take that into your presence on a stage? Take it onto your brand. How do you build that in? So just jot down a few things for yourself there. Yeah, how would you bring that essence of you? How can you find that when you're getting onto a stage? Both, find it or demonstrate it, right? Does anybody want to share?
I'll hold it.
Stand up and I'll hold it.
Oh, you're like
I gotta do
Tony.
you in there.
Okay, all right. I do it through storytelling, and I do it through having purpose. There's a real mission in what I say. I truly own it. I truly believe it, and it's coming. It's coming, as you said, from a place deep inside, not here.
Yeah, and it's very somatic based. I don't know if you're familiar with the term somatics, but it's really getting into our bodies and moving in our bodies. I can tell you, before I get onto stage, I put my hand on my belly. I drop into my belly. I drop into my body, right? So,
Well, it's funny, I have an alter ego, Dr. Marion. And it's like I just get on, before I go on the stage, I'm like, what do you want me to say? And it's just like my higher power. And sometimes I'll be super depressed and I'm like, oh God, how am I going to speak to all these people? And then I'll just become Dr. Marion. Like it just like snaps into it. And I always have people dance, even if they have cancer or whatever they got. And like with the cancer patient, I'll go, okay, you guys are already on the spiritual express train, so no spiritual foreplay here. And I'll just get right into all this really cool stuff. But I always tell funny stories and to make the message memorable. And I tell people when they hire me, I said, I teach people things they don't want to know. And I'm really good at like getting them excited about things they didn't want to know in the first place.
Thank you. I love that you have an alter ego because I think that is like we can do that switch on, and it's you're being you. You're just stepping into that powerful you. Diana, I get to hold it.
Oh, you get to hold it. Okay, so for me, I think I always think about, I do a lot of visualization before I normally get on stage or I'm going to be doing a training or anything like that of what kind of experience they're going to have, how they're going to receive me, what they're going to think. Like I have that all visualized. I breathe. I do a breathing exercise. And I focus on creating experiences, like what kind of experience are they going to have? I share a lot of my own feelings of what I'm dealing with when I'm on stage, and I think that engages the audience more.
So good. Estep, we'll do one more.
Well, the first thing and the most important thing for me is to be authentic, like Tony said. Like I've got to be myself and believe in what I'm saying. The second thing is I always try to evoke an emotion in myself, because if I feel the emotion, whether it's humor or otherwise, I can really convey that to the audience. And relatability, you know, I assess the audience, who am I speaking to, and then tailor on the spot to that audience.
So good. And so this is when we are stepping into this essence of who we are on a stage. It's a intentional motion, right? As we're making this intentional, and you can hear a couple of examples of this. But find yours. Find this way that you step into that essence of who you are when you get onto a stage. So now we're going to move into speaking your client's love language. And this is really, so if you're getting onto a stage, you want to be able, you want your audience to say, oh my gosh, I want more of this person. I want to know more about who they are. And to do that, we're going to start with their story, right? What is their story that they're in right now? What is the things that's keeping them awake at night? Tony talked about that this morning. What are the things that keeping people awake at night? What's their story that they're telling themselves that they're in right now? Then getting into what's the transformation they want to have, and then this yes to you. So this is a journey to get there. And when you think about your client's stories, you've got, this is a tool that I use to speak to your client's love language. Is you start with this pain, what's keeping them awake at night. Tony talked about that this morning, right? We get into the emotions associated with that. And then we get into what is it that they aspire to. And this is actually what I turn marketing on its head. I'm a former marketing VP. It's my degree is in marketing. I've done marketing for many decades. But I like to throw marketing on its head and say, let's look at marketing through a different lens. And if we can get into what our clients aspire to, we start to level up our marketing in a way that connects with our clients on a heart level. So there's a lot of pain-based and scarcity marketing tactics out there. We've all seen it. And to me, that's such a turnoff. We have to know it. We have to understand it. We have to be able to say, I understand where you're at. But then let's start to move into speaking our client's love language so that we're speaking to what they aspire to instead of to all the things that feels broken. And I can tell you, I've hired and invested in my business a lot over the course of my lifetime. I hired great coaches. I've always hired on what is possible. What's the potential? Not from, oh gosh, I'm fearful of something. So there's a shift there for you to really think about in your marketing. So what is it that they aspire to? And then go deeper into your client's journey. And these are questions, you might take a picture of this because these are questions that you can go back to with your clients, your ideal client. You've got that ideal client in your mind. Put a person in that, put the person's name that you know who is your soul client that you want more of, and really start to get into some of these questions like, what do they care about? What are the roadblocks they're facing? What keeps them awake at night? What do they need to know that they don't know right now? What can they see today that they'll see after working with you? This is a big one. What are their false beliefs? That works for somebody else. It doesn't work for me, right? What do they need to believe in order to say yes to you? What are the conversations they're having right now? And there's all kinds of ways you can get to this. But chances are you're having conversations every single day with your ideal clients. And if you start to jot these things down as you hear them, if you do a survey and just bring more questions back, and you can do a survey to a large group of your audience, you can use focus groups. But if you're asking these questions, guess what? You are going to have such rich marketing content that you can pull from for your social media, for your stages, for all the different things that you do. These questions are really powerful. And the more you can get into them and the more you start asking your clients these things, the more you can start to say, oh my gosh, I know exactly what the biggest thing is that they want to address right now. So really powerful questions to go deep with on your clients. And so I want you to think about your last client that came into your business. What was their story when they came in to your business? Just jot that down for yourself so that it's a reminder just to get in that habit of asking, what was their story for that last person that came in your business? Does that spark some ideas for you when you start to think of that last client? Yeah, because it can give you ideas on, where do you take this? Where do you meet more people like that with that challenge? Okay, now we're going to get into a fun exercise, and this is this work here this is starting to take your message into more of a thought leadership message. So if the whole world could hear one message from you, what would that be? So we know Brene Brown, she stands for courage, right? So here she says, you can choose courage or you can choose comfort. You can't have both. So we know she stands for courage. Malala, girls should learn history and make it. So we know she stands for educating young women. Gabby Bernstein. Gabby Bernstein, I let go of my need to control and allow the universe to do her thing. Yeah, so that's what Gabby stands for. Mine is women's wisdom is the medicine our earth needs. This is one of my clients. She's literally a rocket scientist. I love that. I love to say that about her. Hers is, what if we stopped asking girls if they're good at math and started asking them what they're passionate about? And there's so many different places that message can go, right? And what's perfect about this one, and I'll get into this one in a little bit here, why it's so perfect, but we're getting people to stop and think and act and do differently. This is what stop asking if girls are good at math. Let's do something different. Another client, Shelley Shell, when women invest in companies they believe in, our world will change. Right, so these are higher level. When we were talking about marketing message, we are, really speaking directly to our client. But this is starting to elevate what it is that you stand for when you come up with your one message for the world. So what your one message is, it is your opinion. It's unique. It's memorable. It's repeatable. It's your stake in the ground and what you stand for. It gets people to stop and think and act and do differently. What it is not is a positioning statement, right? It's not a marketing statement. We're elevating what you talk about. It's not a quote from someone else. It's not an inspirational saying or something that you hear all the time, like find your purpose in life and live your life better, right? I mean, that's just, it's too generic and it's all over the place. So you're looking for something that's unique and different, that you're putting a stake in the ground of what it is that you want to stand for. So the way you start to build this out is you ask yourself this question: what's the quote that I want to be known for? If the whole world could hear one message from me, what would that be? And you guys are going to get a chance to break into groups and work on this. And as you build that out, you've got a core message here in the middle, your one message for the world. right here. And then on the outside, you've got some ways to build that out that I'll go into here in just a sec. Why is this important? Why is this one message for the world important? Because people's attention span is about this long, right? You need something that grabs them and pulls them in and says, I want to know more about you. And it starts to position you as a leader in your field because you're getting people to stop and think and act and do differently. It's often illustrative. So if there's something that that's illustrative that you can see, it's really powerful. It can be a comparison or analogy. It can be telling people to stop doing something and do something different. It's that sort of thing. So as you build out this message map, you've got your one message in the middle, and then you've got things that you want people to know about that goes deeper into your teachings. So this can apply right into your talks. It can be the different things that you speak about. It can apply into your podcast one sheets. It can apply, so many different ways, but you're getting consistent and you're talking about the same things over and over again in unique ways. You're bringing story to each one of those topics. You're bringing facts. So if we were thinking about my client, Dana Kirchmar, she brings in facts and stats that only 3% of women are leaders in the aviation industry. That's something she wants to change. And, so she has facts, she has stories, she has subtopics. And this is how you start to build your messaging. It also helps you guys on your content creation. As you grow your business, you've got content that other people can help you develop that content. So it becomes a platform that's really useful for you. So we're going to break out now. We're going to spend some time. And we are going to break out into groups of 2 or let's do it to at least 3. Let's see if we can get 3 people to a group. And if we have to go 4 people to a group, let's do that. But let's do 3 to 4 people per group. And you're going to designate a timer and a scribe. So if we were looking at this table here, one of you would be a timer, one of you would be a scribe, and then Louise would start to share what she stands for. What is it? If the whole world could hear one message from you, what would that be? And you guys are listening. You're going to have 8 minutes each to do this. So that's 3 minutes. It's a good amount of time to really work on this. And as you start to bring your message out that you want to be able to put out into the world, this is where the scribe is going to be writing down, what it is that you hear. And it's mostly it just comes forth from you. And it's not always that you land it. You don't always land it in this 8 minutes because it is a short amount of time. It actually can take months to land it. But you've got groupthink, and that's the power of that, right? Is to have groupthink around this approach. So we're going to do 8 minutes each. If the whole world could hear one message from you, what would that be? And then you have this team brainstorm time to really hone in what is that one message. And remember, this is something for you to challenge your teammates with. It's not a marketing message. It's a thought leader message that you're helping them think and act and do differently. What do you want your audience to think and act and do differently with? But help them get out of sounding like a positioning statement. Questions? Let's shoot for groups of 3. And if we have to go to a 4, then we can do that. It will cut back on your amount of time. So shoot for groups of 3. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a really good. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Tony. So we're going to set that timer for 24 minutes. You guys self-time on your tables. Hold your hand up if you can hear me. Hold your hand up if you can hear me. We'll come back to the front of the room. Hold your hand up if you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How was that? So, who wants to share your one message for the world? Who's brave? There we go.
All right, I don't think it's between 10 and 15 words, but the secret sauce to scaling is to invest in solid operations. When you have processes and procedures in place, your team will stop floundering and start flourishing.
It's a good. I love it, love it, love it. So shorten it, right? So look for that the epiphany of what that all stands for. But you got the right concepts in there. Good job.
Did you know you can save a child in 100 days who would die without your help? You can begin today. Ask me how.
So it's important work that you're doing. It's really, really important work. And so this part of it, the ask me how, so you're getting into the marketing part of it, right? Yeah, leave that part of it out. But
you can begin today. Yeah. You can begin today.
To save a child.
To save a child.
Yeah. Yeah. And you might do something with the walking that you're doing. I mean, the hiking. Excuse me, that's the wrong hiking. So like a step each day, or a step each step that you're taking is saving a life, or something along those lines. Okay. So good.
Believe in your heart, regardless of what the mind believes, as your heart always knows the best in terms of suicide ideation.
So good. Thank you. It's fun.
Yeah. When you stop pretending and get honest about your value, you will redirect your energy from self-doubt to confidence and create the impact you desire.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. And it helps with team, doesn't it? I mean, it's really, really helps. That's why I like the 3 seems to be a magic number.
I'm a heart, mind, and soul surgeon without a scalpel. Do you speak life into yourself or death? It's a choice. Choose life. It's vital.
So it's long, right? Yeah. So you can keep working on that, and it's like refining it, right? So you've got the concepts of this, but just keep refining that a bit.
All right. Take the spotlight and sing the song of your soul.
Lovely. Lovely. Scott?
If you don't think that you can survive your circumstances, change your circumstances.
Good. That's very memorable and easy to come back. Yeah. Good. Good, good. Okay. Any more? Because when you're giving voice to your message, you're standing in your truth, right? Making waves here.
Through adversity, continue to live a strong, faith-filled life.
Nice. Nice. I love it.
Writing your book is the easy part. Marketing will make the difference.
Yeah, good. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, we'll do one more.
Rebuilding of your home and life is a journey. We can do it together.
I would take that we can do it together, because that's yeah, it's a journey. Yeah. Okay, good job, guys. Good job. Give yourself a hand. It's hard work doing that. And I want you to, when I shared some of my clients' messages, sometimes those take months. But you've planted good seeds, and you can work with this. And when you start to take your message out in a higher level, at a thought leadership level, and have the messaging to support that, you really start to show up in bigger ways and really start to build your brand as an expert in your space. So we've talked about voice today, right? We've talked about building your brand from the inside out. We've talked about speaking your client's love language, and then really started to get into that next level up messaging that's all about the thought leadership message, that you as a thought leader. So those are the pieces that we've come through. This goes much deeper, right? We can go into content strategy. We can go into building your know, love, and trust marketing funnel. It's like, how are you really activating this? And this is the journey that I take my clients on. Couple things for you guys for free that I get to offer up to you as a gift. Next, on Friday, June 23rd, I'm going to do an activating your message to attract your soul client workshop. So it'll be a virtual workshop that you can sign up. I've left you guys this here. If you also, 3 people are going to get a private coaching session with me. So if you want the private coaching session, fill out the backside of it and put all the information on it. If you want to do just the online training on June 23rd, just put your name and your email on this document, and then pass that in. So, with that, what questions and answers, or what questions do you guys have that you would like me to cover? If the whole world can hear one message, or it's no. Women's wisdom is the medicine our earth needs. Yes, thank you. Is the medicine our earth needs. Yeah. Other questions?
How to use the quote? Give us some more ideas.
Yeah. So when I am on say I'm on a podcast interview, and somebody's, I'm just bringing that up into conversation. I'll say, women's wisdom is the medicine our earth needs. And people will go, oh my God, I want to know more about that. And that's when you start to know that you're on the right track with that, because then it leads into all the different things that you can talk about, right? So that's why that clarity and where it goes in your messaging. My client that I talked about, Dana Kirchmar, with the let's stop asking girls if they're good at math. When she dropped that in a television interview, they were all over that. It's like, what are the other things we could be doing, right? And so it just leads down a conversation that is richer and deeper, and that's really the test, the litmus test, if you will. Okay, any other questions? Yes?
Just came to me right when you were walking past me. So when we're thinking about the, what are we calling it, the statement that we stand for? The one message. I think I'm falling into that trap of I'm trying to encompass like everything that I stand for in this one sound bite.
And so you think of my women's wisdom as the medicine our earth needs. That's really high, Yeah, then I can get into all the other pieces of it. And, why is marketing different? Why is visibility different? Why do we lead companies differently? I mean, so you have all these different angles that you can go into that helps you, like, go in, it's like you can go in lots of different directions with that.
I'm really passionate about female self-empowerment for the purpose of changing the trajectory for the next generation of girls. Yeah. But my tagline is, well, the statement I want to make to the world is that women have better things to do than diet. I don't know. Oh, okay. Because what I was struggling with is I was like, but is it clear that I'm talking about the next generation of girls? And, I'm getting all in my head about it. Okay. Oh, yay. Thank you.
The goosebump test, right. Excellent. Okay, I will be here all this afternoon and the next all day tomorrow as well. So just fill this out and join me on the 23rd, or if you want to sign up for a strategy session with me, you can do that. Thank you, Tony.